In order to determine how many significant figures are in a value, you have to follow the simple rule I like to call the trail sandwich rule. If the number is not a zero, we will consider it significant. So take a look at this number here, 125. Since all three digits are not zeros, we would say every one of those digits is significant. Therefore, there are three significant figures. Simple. So that's part of the quiz will look like that. Now, the problem is when there's zeros. If there's zeros in the number, we're not sure whether they've been estimated or they're placeholders or they're actually part of the measurement. So we have this rule that we follow. So if it's like this, these zeros are just placeholders, so they don't count. But most people they don't wrap their brain around that very well. So we follow what's called the trail sandwich rule, right? So zeros are only significant in two cases. They're either trailing to the right of the decimal and at the end of the number, or they're sandwiched in between other significant figures. One of those two. So we look, is this zero at the end of the number trailing after the decimal? Nope, then it isn't significant. Is this zero trailing at the end of the number after the decimal? No, it's to the after the decimal, right? But it is not at the end, not significant. This one, no. But these are non-zeros, so they are. So in this case, there are two significant figures. So it's pretty simple to figure out, as long as you can keep track of whether a zero is trailing or it's sandwiched in between other figures. So let's try a different one and see how that looks. So if I have this number right here, 120, okay? Again, non-zero digits, those are significant. That's pretty simple. But here's a zero. We're not sure. It's either trailing or it's sandwiched. Now in this case, there is no decimal, it doesn't look like. But if I look, that's where the decimal should be if they would written it. So the question becomes, is this zero a trailing zero? Well, it's at the end of the number, but it's not after the decimal also. So it's not trailing. Then is it between other significant figures? No, because there's no numbers on the other side of it. So this is not a significant figure either, right? So there are only two significant figures here in this value, and that's basically what you have to be able to do. So in any number, regardless of how it's represented, you look at it, if these numbers are not zeros, we consider them to be significant to the value. If they're zeros, we have to make that determination ourselves by looking at that rule. If they're between other significant figures, then they're significant. If they're at the end of this number and after the decimal, also significant. Those are the only two cases.